Bigger, better, bolder. The cold, hard truth is taking talk to the next level. Right here on Bobo 89.1 FM, Cayman's Community Radio.
We are still spilling the tea.
And committed to being part of the change that Cayman so desperately needs. Join Sandy Hill weekdays from 7:30 a.m. for Premier Access, Cayman Voices, Truthful Thursdays, and much more. Cayman's #1 talk show is now bigger, better, bolder, and more than talk. Getting results with hot topics, consumer reports, court exposés, and more.
I've come to set the record straight. I've come to shine the light on you. Let me introduce myself. I am the cold, hard truth.
Now, from the CMR studio in Grand Cayman,
Live, direct.
it's the cold, hard truth. Now, join the conversation on 345-936-2626.
That number again is
345-936-2626.
Happy Thursday. How's everybody doing this beautiful Thursday morning? We all good? Hello, honey child. All right. Beautiful day to be in paradise. Hello. Oh, Jean. You see, people are still sleeping this morning, and I'm sitting here wondering, where are they? Because they're going to make me play my song. And they certainly do not want me to play that wake up song, do they? Maybe you guys love it as much as I do. You know, low key, you guys are loving it. I think that's what's going on here. Good morning, beautiful people. How are you? Yes, good morning, Marshall. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Are you sitting there going, Auntie, clearly these people want you to play that morning song. Oh, let me mute the YouTube channel. I'm going to send it all the links. I'm beginning to wonder. They want me to play the wake up song. Oh boy. Wake up. Good morning, K-Man. What a beautiful day in paradise. I'm going to look at the window now and confirm that it is a beautiful day. And look at that. It's still a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day because we're alive. We're kicking it. What more can we possibly want? Good to be up and going. You got to give thanks. So many people flat on their backs, 6 feet under. And look at us. Look at us. Such wonderful lives we have. Seriously. I love it. Good morning, Instagram folks. Next destination, humanity. Oh, what an interesting Instagram name. All right, what do you guys think of this new feature with the comments like scrolling on the main screen? It's interesting. I'm keeping an eye on it, see how it works. It's a little bit small though. I feel like it could be a little bit bigger, like the text could be bigger. But it's a new feature. They're trying it out. Good morning, Miss Debbie, joining us all the way from Thailand. How are my beautiful folks overseas doing? Caymanians representing, making us proud. Y'all behave yourselves now, especially if you're overseas. We don't want y'all going anywhere and misbehaving because it reflects on all of us. They'd be like, ooh, those people from the Caymans, they just don't know how to act when they travel or live abroad. Right, King? You guys make us proud. All right, let me see here. Good morning. Here for it. I see you. Good morning. So listen, I'm looking for a message. Oh my God, I hate when this happens to me. Someone sends me a message and I see it. Sometimes I even respond, but I don't like fully take it in. Oh God, I'm guilty of this. So someone sent me a message and a link. Let me see if I can find this person this morning. If this is you, by all means, I haven't done anything with the eyebrows today. Y'all have to forgive me. Just moisturizing. Yes, honey chill. Help me out here. Someone sent me a message about Radio Cayman recently. And someone that Radio Cayman has hired working there. I guess it's their latest hire. I saw the message and they were like, why can't Radio Cayman? I know, right? It's too small. I agree. Why can't Radio Cayman hire Caymanian? And I thought, and I responded on the basis of that. But in their message, they actually sent me a link. And I didn't click on the link and I didn't read it. If you're listening to me this morning, would you do me the honor of please send me that message or just message me again so it can pop up in my messages, because I want to look at what you sent me. I don't know if it was Instagram, TikTok, I'm not sure. But, yeah, somebody sent it to me and I'm trying to find it. Please. This would have been, I think, just last week. And I'm here searching for keywords because I'm like, oh, what would they have said to me? Hire Caymanians. I can't find it. So, yeah, please send it. Okay. Oh, I found one before that I didn't see. This person says, please, good morning. This is in a second. Please keep my info private as they will know. Okay. Not only did Kenneth buy a new Tahoe, but when he got deputy premier, he demanded they hire his own driver. So the protocol driver that was supposed to drive him was at home being paid along with paying Kenneth's driver. Him, Juliana, and the whole of minority government wasted her money. Really? I'm just now seeing this. Whoa. I did not know that. What the heck? These guys were so wasteful. When it's not your money, I can tell you I have a theory about this. When it's not your money and you're not used to having money that you have to be accountable for. So in other words, you've not ran a company that if you mishandle or misappropriate the money or you're wasteful, somebody behind is going to be charged and go to jail or you're going to get fired. Like you don't have any understanding of fiscal responsibility. And unfortunately, this is one of my concerns with people who, people who get in government at the elected level. You have to be careful. That's why it's important to look at their business acumen. Have they ever ran a successful business? Have they done things like filed for bankruptcy or almost did, or, didn't have a pot to, you know what I'm saying? Those are types of things. But who is it that sent me this link about Radio Cayman? Step forward, honey child, because I am trying to find the message. And unfortunately, I'm not having any luck. All right. Send it to me, honey child. There's a very, very interesting story brewing here. That's why now I need it. Ugh. Oh my God. I'm going to try. I'm keyword searching. WhatsApp allows you to keyword search, but sometimes it's not the best. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I can't find it. Yes, grand rising to you. This person says, keep exposing them. I know there was a lot of stuff going on Friday in Radio Cayman because the government was there trying to justify their spending and their behavior. Okay. Whoever can find that message, I would love for you to send it back to me, please, and thank you. Oh man. Yes. Mhm. It's interesting about the hiring of Caymanians. Someone actually said that someone actually said to me just now that people have to remember that you know the salary at Radio Cayman could be better, and that they've lost some staff to the Compass, so maybe they're just desperate. Well, desperation is one thing, but when I get my hands on that link, I think there's a little bit more going on here than meets the eye. So big shout out to whoever first flagged it, but if you could please do me the honor of resending me that message, I would really, really appreciate it. So the message was about why Radio Cayman didn't hire Caymanian for its latest position. I'm desperately looking for the message. All right, we're gonna move on. If you are the person who sent it to me, please resend it or just ping me so I can read the message, because it's now relevant to something else that I received early this morning, or late last night, I should say. Okay. Oh, found it. Hallelujah. Yes, I found it, honey chill. Ooh, for one of my Jamaican sisters. Wasn't even a Caymanian that sent it. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Okay. Oh, thank you so much for sending this to me. Certainly do appreciate it. That was from Friday. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. Interesting. OMG. I'm coming. Oh. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 All right. Thank you so much. Let's carry on. Now that I found the message, I can do some proper investigation into this. All right. Good morning, one, and good morning, all. We got a full class now. Thank you, guys. Over 300 folks. Ms. Jean, Marshall, we have the premier and the deputy premier going to be joining us. Janelle, look at the beautiful Janelle. How are you? Jamila is here. Island Pearl in the house. Richard joining us from Round Rock, Texas. I'm doing my morning walk and tuned in. It's so nice that you do that in the morning. So let me ask you a question, Richard. Were you listening through Facebook? Yes. I was wondering if you were listening online through like one of the websites or something, but obviously you're on Facebook. Duh. Had a blonde moment there. Good morning, honey child. Keisha's here. Miss Brenda's in the house. Good morning to the beautiful Miss Brenda. Miss Brenda, is that you in that picture? I can't quite make out who is in that profile picture of yours. Siobhan is here. Miss Alba, buenos dias. She says, ¿Cómo estás? Estoy bien, estoy bien. Debbie, good morning. Jasara, Delcy, and Ben joining us from Florida. Beverly Newland, good morning to you. Jim Norris in the house. Julie is here. Tyrone. Beulah. Hello, Miss Beulah. C.E. Banks, good morning to you. Shadi, good morning. Says, good morning, Auntie. Miss Linda is here for it. Says, good morning, Sandy. It's an amazing road this morning coming down from the East End. Nobody's flying like Charlie's Angels. Do you know why? Because we have police cars on the same lane. Good job, everybody. Stay safe. Thank God. Oh, they're not flying. Ay, ay, ay. Police presence surely does make a difference. So that's good. Although I'm a little bit confused, Linda, because I didn't think anybody coming from the east would be in a position to fly at all. Because let's just say that, you know, Oh, I see. Thank you so much. Thank you for the clarification. Good investigative skills. Love it. Yes, because the bumper to bumper traffic normally wouldn't allow you to be flying. Y'all need to slow down. Speed demons. Good morning, Mr. Andy Martin in the house. Thank you so much. I forgot to tell you guys, on the weekend when I was in Cayman Brac, I saw Mr. Berman Scott, another Caymanian musician. He's on my list for the Cayman Voices interviews. I got to get to him soon. And he was there doing his thing. I'm always tickled pink when I see musicians that are so multi-talented. Like he has, I'm doing one board and then I have a few more pieces, but he's got his big board over here and then another board over here and instruments and piano. And he's definitely multitasking. It is truly amazing. So good morning, Shaka. Philip Rankin is in the house. Felicia Rankin. Oh my gosh. Sorry, Felicia. So yes. It just started to rain in West Bay. Really? Let me peep out the window again. The window's literally right here. I do see some clouds, but mostly clear skies. It's possible. Rain is possible. Well, it's always possible in the tropics. Please, Lord, send some rain over to Cayman Brac. They need it. They need it way more than we do. Luis, good morning. How's your little boy doing? Patricia Blake in the house. Plain and Straight is here. Damara is joining us from, wait a minute. That's not New York. Tamara's, where is WV? West Virginia? Where's WV? Yes. Yep. Wow. So interesting. Thank you for the intel, honey child. I'm on it. That story will go up today. Let me check my graphics guy. Good morning. So today is today's Thursday. It is the Senior Thursday sponsored lunch by CMR. What do we have on the menu today? I'm going to fill you guys in. We have turtle. Stew turtle. Now I have a lunch meeting at 2:00 and I'm trying to decide. Do I indulge at 12:00 and eat the turtle? And then at the lunch meeting, I just sip on water? Or is that considered rude? Because I don't know if the person at 2:00 would be eating or not. But child, I can't pass up stew turtle like that. So we've got, we have stew turtle. We're going to do salad, stew turtle, lasagna. We want to mix it up for them. I'm not giving them the same thing all the time. And, they might be sick of Cayman food too. Maybe all them seniors, they've had so much stew turtle and they're like, don't give me no more stew turtle. I can't imagine, but who knows? So we're going to do some lasagna, barbecue chicken. What else are we doing? I think those are the meats. Then we'll do some garlic rolls, mixed vegetables. For dessert, we're not going overboard. We're going to just do some guava tarts. And we have some kind of chocolate chip banana. It's not a bread, but it's so delicious. And it's really healthy because pretty much it just has like bananas and and a few chocolate chips. So that's the menu for today. Looking very, very excited to sponsor the senior luncheon again. And big shout out to Mr. Dilbert is going to be cooking the turtle for us. His turtle, I can testify from firsthand experience, is seasoned perfectly and delicious. But I'm one of those people now. I'm going to tell you that I pick out pieces when I'm eating turtle because I just like the lean meat, just gravy, lean meat. And of course, I know everything gets thrown into the pot together for proper flavoring. So I pick out, what are the little black parts of the turtle? What is the little black things that's in it? I pick those out. So I spend time picking at my turtle meat before I eat it. So I pick those out. The little pieces that have the little spiky thing, what is that? Like, I don't know what these parts are. And, you know, I eat with my eyes first. So if you're not looking, yeah, I stare at it for too long. I'm like, I take out all the fin. I don't eat the fin. My friend Kevin's like, you don't eat the fin? That's like the best part. Give me that fin. I was like, okay, go ahead, honey chill. Take the fin off my plate because I'm not going to eat it. Hi, Emma. I had such a bizarre dream last night. I was just, for some reason, it just came to me. I was dreaming about something where I was like in the UK. It was a very bizarre dream, visiting people in the hospital. And then there was a guy and somebody stole his cologne and he called the people to look for his cologne. And then for some reason I had it in my back pocket. It wasn't me that stole it, but I was like, I'm going to return it. And then Kenneth was in my dream. Oh my God. So Kenneth walked up to me when I was trying to go back and return the perfume. And he said something to me. I can't remember now what it was. And I was like, Kenneth, I can't talk to you right now. I'm on a mission. So I've got to return this perfume. Like that was my thing. I've got to return it. Oh, you guys ever dream? I'm a dreamer. I always have big dreams in real life and like when I'm sleeping. Good morning to the beautiful Marla Dukran. Wow, all the way from Geneva. That is exciting. Now, Miss Marla, you may have missed our show yesterday when we were talking about all of the exciting things that are coming on board for CMR TV, CMR Radio for 2025 or 8th year anniversary. And I'm hoping that you will be having a show on as well, because people are very, very excited. I met yesterday with one of the professionals who's going to be doing the cultural show, and they have a lot of good stuff in store for us in terms of Cayman culture. And, you know, we need people from all walks of life. We need money skills, money management. We need to be talking about big, high level discussions like the economy, the world economy, regional economy. And of course, Miss Marla is in the thick of that world. And she has so much that she can educate us about, right? And yes, she's joining us from Geneva, Switzerland this morning. I'm actually going to be in Switzerland in September, amongst other places. So I'm very, very excited. That will be my first time there. So super exciting times. So yes, so we have the Honorable Premier making his first appearance on the show. Mr. Andre Ebanks, the Honorable Andre Ebanks, and also the Honorable Gary Ruddy, who is his Deputy Premier. He will also be joining us. So, oh yes, Damaris, I guessed it right, West Virginia. I had a cousin who went to university in West Virginia. All right, Aisle 2025 says, thank you for feeding our seniors, very kind of you. Share some photos and videos for us tomorrow, at least show us the food. I will. I most certainly will. So yes, I enjoy it. I mean, you guys know I love to, that's my love language. My love language is I'm a giver. I'm like a gift giver. And so I'll tell you a funny story. Sometimes I even forget that I've given somebody a gift, but I think it's such a perfect gift for them. They get it twice. And they're like, you've given me this already. So remember my my ancestry. I keep telling you guys, you got to do these ancestry kits because I think they're so awesome. So I had another one. I'd given our cousin one for Christmas, and then for Mother's Day, Gigi put a little basket together for her, and I was like, "Oh, throw this in." Then she's like, "You gave me this already for Christmas." I said, "Well, have you taken it?" Not yet. I said, "Well, there you go. Get that kit in." All right. Jim Norris in the house says, have a bite of turtle and move on to your business lunch. That's his recommendation. Yes. Take the turtle home and eat it at your lunch meeting. No, the lunch meeting is at a restaurant. So that's why I'm like, don't eat the poor turtle, says Akil. That's aisle 2025. That's like an insult to Caymanian. What? Don't eat turtle. Actually, there are some Caymanians who don't eat turtle. Where's Soka Phillips this morning? Maryland does not eat any meat, including turtle. So yes. What's the age for your senior luncheon? Is I would love a guava tart. Anybody can come, really. I mean, we have younger folks who show up as well. Where is Mirstar? Last time Mirstar was there and she got to taste some of my dessert and she was like, oh my God, Miss Sandy, this is so delicious. So Sandy is not a real Caymanian, says El Ray, too picky with the stew turtle. Not the first time I've gotten that criticism. They're like, no, you're not Caymanian enough. It's a combination of having grown up overseas, Yeah. I didn't eat turtle the entire time I was away. Obviously, you can't eat turtle, I don't think, in Florida. My aunt didn't ever cook or ask about turtle. Aunt Lottie, she's more like lobster and other things. I don't think she even cooked stew kunk. So that a lot of the time that I was in Florida, there was a lot of Caymanian foods that, oh my God, I totally missed. And including my local mangoes. That's why I'm so obsessed with them now. So yes, I will take that criticism. When it comes to the turtle meat, I am not Caymanian enough because I'm very, very picky. Yes, we're looking forward to it. I mean, Miss Marla, I would love for you to have your own show. So we got to talk about that. Now, I know you're busy, but maybe we could work out some of the logistics for you and make it super easy. Sue has a solution for me. She says, I don't quite understand you in that turtle dilemma. Eat your turtle and then have dessert at your lunch meeting. I love that solution. Except I've been trying not to indulge in desserts. Y'all know I'm trying to lose a few pounds. So good morning, Sean Ebanks. The little gift I left for you in the BRAC, did you get it, sir? Please tell me yes, and you're good to go. Don't worry, Mirstar, still come today because we still have lasagna and we have chicken on the menu. So even if you don't eat turtle, not to worry. But yes, I'm not going to indulge in dessert today because I had a guava tart last night. So good morning, Denny. He's here to correct me with my diet. I'm sure of that. Oh, hold on. I can't hear you. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. 1 second. Let me see here. Hello? No, let me call you back. Sometimes this happens. I actually have to do a manual restart. All right. So I went over and I'm really, really excited about this cultural show. I'm hoping that we can get this one off the ground for sure. And I went and met with them at the Intergenerational Hub. Have you guys been there? Has anyone been there? Oh my gosh, I was blown away at how wonderful this facility looks. And I'm thinking to myself, why is it that I don't know about it? Most of you probably don't know about it. And it's like space for all of us that we could be utilizing. So I think we're gonna plan a tour of the facility so you guys can see it. Oh, Mirstar says, I'm here. Those desserts were bomb. Edwin says that he's a 59-year-old multi-generational Caymanian and he has never tasted turtle and don't intend to. See? I tell you, I'm not the only one. Let's call Denny back. Oh, call failed. What's going on? Don't tell us that we forgot to pay Flow again because they won't let one bill pass, them. El Ray, actually, I have a Flow complaint. Oh, it's still not hearing him. Hold on, Denny. I got a Flow complaint that came in to me and I need to send it to you. It actually came in by email. Denny? No?
Hello.
Oh, there you are. Oh my gosh. Hello, sir.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
I'm calling to solve your problem.
Oh, okay. Tell me.
If you skip all the sides and just eat the meat, you need 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of ideal body weight, and you'll be just fine.
Man. So you're telling me if I eat turtle by itself,
You'll be just
No,
fine.
no rice and beans.
Eat until you're full.
No
and you'll be fine.
breadfruit. No
And you'll
sweet
be just,
potato.
that's right.
Oh
That's
my
right.
God, I couldn't imagine just eating turtle by itself. Thank you for the advice, though. I appreciate the good, solid nutritional advice. And my answer to that is absolutely not.
All right.
Listen, I appreciate it. What is turtle without the sides? I'm sorry, but in what universe does that make any sense? Oh my gosh. Shaka says, actually, the Florida Keys allow some turtle dishes, New Orleans as well. Look it up. There's an exception to the law that allows for the sale in limited capacity. Oh, and is it the same turtle that we eat? Interesting. Thank you, Shaka, for that. You're full of useful information. Joanna wants to know, did I make the turtle? Some real tasty, one day, sounds really tasty. No, I have never in my life touched turtle in that way. I've never seasoned turtle. I've never touched turtle in a pot except to scoop it out and eat it. So, and I don't imagine that it's a dish that I actually want to learn how to cook. For the same reasons that I pick out, as Miss Brenda says, the Manavlin. She says she doesn't actually like the lean of the turtle. Wow. Quite shocking. But yes, I don't foresee. I've made stew conch like once or twice, but again, I don't go out of my way to make it because I know so many amazing people who do know how to cook it. Jim says Flow needs to improve in their customer service while you're where you're able to speak to a real person, and the system they have in place presently is mediocre at best. And I thought that they had done that. So let's talk to El Rey and some others because I know they were working on deploying something. So yeah, Chris K says don't eat turtle. Mr. G says the hardest thing with turtle is cleaning it. Oh. What? Oh, okay. Don't eat turtle, but would walk 10 miles for stew conch. Yes, everybody has a preference. Oh, this person says, good morning, Sandy. I got my turtle from Dilbert on Tuesday, and it was off the chain yummy, laughing out loud. Yes. Can you cook corned beef? If you can cook corned beef, you can cook turtle. Oh, my apologies. Not corned beef. If you can cook beef, you can cook turtle. Oh, well, I can cook beef. I just don't want to cook turtle. All right. Akil says, I saved turtles crossing the street. Aw. But those are probably the little hicatees. We don't eat hicatees. They're like pets. Yeah. Sherry says, I love the skin and the liver. Not me. I love beef liver, but I won't do liver from a turtle. Yep. Abby says meat only for me. Miss Dorleen said, oh yes, Miss Dorleen says turtle, white rice, breadfruit, cornbread, baked plantain is the bomb. So we're going to have plantain today as well. Oh yeah, I need to put that on the little menu because we have so many. Someone brought me some ripe plantains and they overripe. So we're going to have some super ripe plantains for our seniors today. Didn't do any cornbread. I haven't done cornbread in a while, but we'll definitely have some plantain. Oh, maybe we should bake it instead of frying it. But okay, let's do a quick poll before our guests come on. We're waiting on them to join us. I have a poll question for you. Are we going to do white rice or rice and beans with turtle? Some people feel very, very strongly about this. So you've got to let me know what your preference is. White rice or rice and beans? Hold on. I'm going to get my little thing here where you can vote in real time. This is a serious question now. Caymanians know. If you know, you know. What is your preference? Some of you absolutely love, and you won't have it with anything else other than one or the other. I can do both. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not as committed to the turtle side as some people. Now, I know some of you are going to go, Harry, someone is now listening to me going, this is why Sandy is not a Caymanian, because what the heck is she talking about? All right, what is the ideal rice with stewed turtle? That's the question. All right, so we're going to do white rice or rice and beans. Okay, let me put it up on the screen and I'm going to share the link. All right, let me share the link in the comment section. I'm curious to see how you guys are going to vote on this one. QR code. Let me see here. Hold on one second. Okay. Let me just pull this tab out. Uh-oh. And then I want you guys to tell me, what is your preference? Or what do you think? Maybe it's not even your preference, but what do you think is the ideal side with it? All right, hold on a second. Let me get you guys to voting here. This is strange. Why can't I not slide it over to this other monitor? Give me one quick second. Oh, where's my, uh-oh. Hold on. All right, here we go. There it is. All right, so far, white rice is winning. I think this is going to be a close one. This is going to be a lot closer than I probably figured. All right, there you go. QR code up on the screen, folks. Go ahead and vote. White rice. This is your perfect rice for turtle. Is it white rice or rice and beans? What do y'all think? Okay, Sandy, I love the turtle fin. Wish I could get some. Well, I don't know how much fin is going to be in what we're doing today, but come on by, you can get some. Miss Brenda says, yes, you can bake the plantain. I hardly ever bake plantain, but I don't mind baked plantain. It's nice. Rice and beans, but white rice is winning 56% to 44%. Lavana says white rice for sure. Janelle says, I'll do both. But if you had to choose, Janelle, in other words, you had no choice, you had to choose one or the other, what would it be? Yes, Melita says everything but the prickly thing of the turtle for me. What is that prickly thing? Can somebody tell me? Somebody says maybe we shouldn't eat an endangered species, just saying. Oh my gosh. They're going to take away your Keyman papers, girl. This person says turtle is like beef. Dad ate hicatees. Really? Who eats a hicatee? Mom likes the fin and makes plantain cake with ripe plantains. Plantain plate. What? Plantain cake. I have never heard of a plantain cake. What's a plantain cake like? Ooh, can I give her some of these overripe plantains then and ask her to make us a plantain cake? The prickly thing is the throat. Ew. Let me not think about that too hard. This person says, good morning, Sandy. I'm like Miss Brenda. I don't eat much lean of the turtle, but I love the fin and those pieces. Rice and beans with turtle is sacrilege. White rice all the way, says this other person. Oh my gosh. Yikes. You guys might be surprised at my answer. Maybe not. But white rice is resoundingly the winner. OMG. Abby says the only thing is white rice is good for is curry chicken. Sorry, not sorry. Not just curry chicken. I guess there's certain things that that you can do. White rice. with? I'm trying to think what else. Curry chicken for sure. Anything curry, actually. Anything curry, I feel like white rice is perfect. But boy, I love me a rice and beans. Love cornbread, says Aisle 2025. We're just killing some time this morning. All 400 and something of you are like, why are we talking about food again? We're killing some time until the premiere comes on. And of course, today is the third Thursday of the month, and that's when we try to do our sponsored lunch for our seniors. And they really enjoy it. I must tell you that there is normally nothing left. They are not making the food go to waste. Good morning, caller. White rice or rice and beans?
Good morning.
Hello, Miss Brenda.
Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't eat rice.
What? So what do you eat
Nope.
turtle with?
I eat my turtle with sweet potato,
Okay.
cornbread,
Uh-huh.
plantains.
So you have everything else but the rice.
I don't eat rice with anything.
Wow.
I don't eat rice.
Okay.
So, but just so that you know, white rice in the traditional meal of turtle as our national dish.
Yes.
It is served with white rice.
Yes.
But some people would prefer to have it with rice and beans. That's entirely up to them. So if I were doing turtle for someone or for someone's, I would do a little of both. But if it was to introduce it to someone, I would do it in the traditional style, which is with white rice.
Okay. And Miss Sue Parsons says the same thing. No rice for me.
Well, if you are Caymanian, you would know that. So, and if you are Caymanian, you would also know how to cook turtle. Because I don't mean anyone else.
Is that a dig? Is that a low-key dig at me, Miss?
No, absolutely not. I was about to expand on that and to say that I don't eat turtle from just anyone.
That's right. You better believe
because
it.
Because if you're not Caymanian, you don't know how to cook turtle. And if turtle is not cooked properly, it will make you very sick.
Yes, it can even kill you, my darling. Yeah.
It can, that's right, it will poison you.
Yes.
But no, that was not dig at you at all, because I know Caymanians who haven't lived overseas, but they don't really, care for turtle either. But I don't think it has to do with the taste or anything. It's the fact that they don't know how to cook it. And so they just stay away from it. But if you cook it and offer it to them, they'll have it. But anyway, I just wanted to say that.
Thank you so much.
A food education thing on turtle.
Yes.
And that prickly thing that you're talking about, that is called the prickly gut.
The prickly gut.
But I don't eat that.
Yes.
Oh, no.
And somebody here says it's prickly gut called what? Cali pie? Is that how you pronounce it? I don't even know.
But that is what it is. It's part of the gut of the turtle.
Wow.
And like when I don't like the meat. I don't like the lean. So when I buy turtle, I just ask for manablins.
Now tell me what's the manablin is that considered everything else, or is there like a specific part that's the manablin?
The manablins would be the parts that you don't like. The fin, the liver, the fat, the lights, and
all of that is considered the manablin.
Because the lean is the lean, so everything else is manablins.
Yeah. And so, I understand conceptually, as someone who likes to dabble in the kitchen, that the manablin is obviously required to make the whole dish taste properly. So you couldn't just cook lean meat, right? So I know why they cook it with it, but I can't eat it.
Like, for example, if your turtle meat does not have enough fat,
exactly,
you don't get the good oil from the turtle. So even if you're not going to eat the fat, you should still cook it in the pot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah, but I love turtle meat, and to answer your non-dilemma, eat your turtle meat and have a salad at lunch.
Oh, so reverse it.
I told you that, but you didn't read it, I guess.
Oh,
because that's what I do.
Okay.
That's what I do.
Okay.
Oh, and sorry, I meant to say, and with my turtle meat, I have to have pink potato salad. And if you're wondering what that is, that's the potato salad.
I know. I know that one.
Because that's the only way I like it.
That's right.
And my potato salad has to be very well seasoned also. I have to taste the crunchy onions and stuff in it, otherwise I don't want it.
Thank you, Miss Brenda. I appreciate it.
And sorry,
yes, ma'am.
That picture is me.
Oh,
I can't believe you would ask me that.
I need to go. It's small on my screen, so I need to go and have a look.
I told you to zoom in on it. It's me.
That's you. Okay.
All 5 feet of me.
I know. You know what is so funny? I remember when I saw you and I put it together the first time that, this is Miss Brenda. I thought what she looks like in her voice don't quite match because you have a very big voice. So I was expecting a big person. That's what I'm told, and I believe it there. Yeah, when I saw this little petite lady, I'm like, Miss Brenda's petite. All right, Miss Brenda, thanks so much.
Yeah. All righty.
All right, my dear. Thank you. So John says, I had turtle years ago at Christmas and it was nasty. I'll try anything but that again. That's because you didn't have it from the right person. And to Miss Brenda's point, all bona fide Caymanians know one thing. There's certain things you do not eat from any and everybody. As a matter of fact, you don't eat from any and everybody as a Caymanian, okay? You gotta know who cooking your food. Now my Aunt Adonia, y'all know her as Topsy. She is very, very particular who she gonna eat from. And listen, she can cook anything for me. The only thing I will no longer eat from her, and it has nothing to do with her, is the agouti. And that's because they become like my little neighborhood pets now. So I feel so bad eating them, but I guess I was really hungry. That'll go out the window. Irvlin says curry chicken with dumplings and banana. I'm a dumpling person, so I love dumplings and everything. As a matter of fact, you could throw dumplings and turtle and I'd probably still eat it. Sacrilegious, I know. All right, so the winner for today's poll question, what's the ideal rice with stewed turtle? Definitely, hands down, white rice. Thank you guys so much. We do have, I think, the premier and deputy premier, and it looks like is there anybody else in that big room that you guys are sitting in? I think they might be ready for us. So yes, I see a lot of you say yes, no rice. You just eat it with the bread kind, basically. So that makes it good. I mean, I can see it, but I'm a rice person. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning, darling. White rice or rice and beans?
What kind of question I'm hearing you asking about white rice? There's only one side to turtle. That's more turtle.
Oh, you mean no rice?
More turtle.
More turtle. That's the ideal side. More turtle.
But hold on. Remember, we're not supposed to be eating turtle. We're supposed to be eating fried chicken.
Why are we eating fried chicken?
You remember that guy that called made some bonehead comment on the radio some time ago?
Yes. I had forgotten about that. Yeah.
Anyway, just causing trouble.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Bye.
All right. Jean Scott says, even though I think of myself as Caymanian since I've lived here for 41 years, the first year I was here, my mother-in-law taught me how to cook it. My husband thought his mother had come and cooked it. Wow. That's amazing, Jean, for your husband to think that, because that means you got it down right. Fantastic. Good morning, Tartarian. Wake up, honey chow. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Miss Sandra. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
All right. What is your topic? What goes with
what is the ideal rice with stewed turtle? White rice or rice and beans?
First of all, like the gentleman just said, did you know they had changed our national dish from turtle meat to fried chicken from KFC?
No. Definitely not.
The cruise lines are now trying to cut out going to Turtle Center. As of October, a lot of the cruise lines are not they don't want any tours to do with the Turtle Center. We have been notified as of October. There'll be tours that are not going to do
Why?
Turtle Center.
Really?
Why? Because yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God.
As of October, MFC is not doing any tours to deal with turtles.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that. Well, thank you for telling us that. I had no idea.
Yes, ma'am. that we were instructed yesterday.
So you were just instructed yesterday.
Yep.
But that's interesting because, I mean, the Turtle Center is about a lot more things than just turtle meat. It's about conservation, and people can swim. They can do all sorts of things.
And it's run by the government. So I don't know why the government not defending it at all.
Oh, well, maybe they don't even. How did you guys find out? How did they tell you, by the way?
Through an operator. I don't want to call the names.
Oh, okay. So yeah. All right.
An operator.
Well, we're gonna maybe we need to reach out to them and get the official word.
Exactly. We said we would get in contact with the Ministry of Tourism to find out, what's the status on it, whether that's official or fine. But that's what we were told. But they who rice with turtle meat is white rice. That's Caymanian. If we were doing Caymanian style. However, we see a lot of dishes. I mean, that's a people's preference that they want rice and beans. I mean, we can't teach people from their choice. But when you're saying Caymanian, it's white rice. My mom is 84 years old, and she say it annoys her as a Caymanian. So here, people calling in about potato salad, lettuce and tomato, and all these other ingredients that does not go with turtle meat as a Caymanian dish. If they want to say they're selling turtles, they say she hate to hear them say it is Caymanian style. So she said,
thank you so much.
Please tell them to do not say it's Caymanian style if they add anything else to it. It has to have white rice, ripe plantain, what we call bread kind, which is cassava, breadfruit, Irish potato. Some people do yam, some people do cocoa, but what they call bread kind and white rice.
That's
it. And cornbread. It has to have cornbread.
It has to have cornbread. Wow.
Or in case you guys didn't know, there's something called a sea pie that you put over the turtle meat. It's need like you do bread and you put it over the turtle meat and over the steam cooks the thing. So when you cut it out, it's like it come out like a piece of pie. Over the turtle meat? Yes, ma'am. The next time that I cook turtle meat down here, that I make sea pie, I'll send some for you so you can have an experience. Because I don't think I've ever had that version of turtle, so that's interesting. Well, that I don't know, but definitely it's a West Bay version. Okay. West Bay is put sea pie. Huh. So next time it's cooked down this way, I'll get piece to you. All right, sounds good. Okay. Well, I want to do a little competition: West Bay, Georgetown, and East End. Who makes the best who makes the best turtle? We can do that. Whenever you're ready to do that one, we'll get it put on. We'll do a cook-off. Thank you so much, honey. I appreciate it. You're welcome. Have a good one. Well, we got to check into that MSC story because that sounds interesting. Honey child, we have to reach out to them, see what's going on there. We're going to wrap up the food discussion and move on to our esteemed guests who are joining us. But turtle is only Caymanian style, says Ms. Brenda. In other words, she's like, there's only one way to cook it. So listen, let me just say this now. When I was in Cayman Brac, I did a few interviews, and of course, I was able to do Ms. Valda Scott. Now, Ms. Valda Scott is a renowned, I'm going to call her original Caymanian chef. She bakes, she cooks, she's amazing. I had some of her coconut dinner, and she was telling me in the interview, you guys got to listen to it when it airs, that there are certain dishes now that Caymanians make. And she's like, she doesn't know why we make them the way we make them. She's like, the proper and original way to make it, we have already lost, and we are no longer making it that way. And I thought, what? I can't remember what dish she mentioned to me. And she said, yes. And I thought to myself, listen, we have got to ensure that from a cultural perspective, right, that our people do not lose the genuine, authentic methods of cooking our traditional dishes. Even if you don't cook it that way all the time, we have to pass that on. We have to ensure. So I said to her, listen, I'm going to have to come back to the Brac for like a week and just be in the kitchen with you so that we can get you to make these dishes, and at least we'll have a visual of this is how it is properly done. So I have to do a whole Brac, CMR in the Brac for like a week or something. And that is on my list. And she's 85 years old, so I ain't got much time to be planning it. I think I just need to do it. But yes, I was really taken aback by that. I can't remember the exact details that she said, but she told me some dish
And I said, that's not how you cook it. She said, no, honey child. And I was like, what? Good. Big shout out to Ms. Valda Scott this morning there in beautiful Cayman Brac. All right. So white rice has won. I'm going to be honest with you, probably 85% of the time. I prefer rice and beans, but I will eat it with white rice as well. Sabrina, that's your granny. Aw, she is such a sweetheart. Oh my God, I love her. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, honey child. I'm up. It's tuned.
You're coming in hot and heavy. You ready for your turtle meat today?
Oh, yes, honey child. Oh, yes. Oh, I can't wait. And I know them seniors can't wait neither because they sure love your cooking.
Oh, well, I can't take any responsibility for the turtle meat. Mr. Dilbert McLaughlin is preparing that for me, but I can testify that it is delicious. Absolutely delicious. So I think they're going to, awesome. And then we're going to throw in a little American dish with the lasagna, and then we have some barbecue chicken for them, and then all the sides. So we got you.
Oh, Lord, you're going to spoil my seniors today. You're going to spoil them. Yeah. They love it.
Yeah,
and Sandy, my darling, that's the same thing. I actually pasted up on Facebook in a comment yesterday that we need to try to lively back up Georgetown, put a good old Caymanian restaurant back in the middle of town that would serve our traditional food. And our tourists, when they come, they would be able to get a taste of Cayman right there in central Georgetown. But somewhere on Cardinal Avenue, they need to get rid of all those trees in the middle of that road, open back up that road.
Lord have mercy.
And bring business back to that place.
I mean, we just spent all this money supposedly revitalizing, and what they've done is they've actually killed Georgetown. Not at all.
To send people to other directions because then they don't want Georgetown to be the capital. They don't want anything happening in Georgetown. They're going and put up all of these lights and for a dead town. It's beautiful. The light is beautiful, but for a dead town, we need to bring Georgetown back. Get rid of the ego trip that transpired and the malicious act. Because then when you go to close down or be the part or the problem why people have to close down their business and can't make a living, that's malicious.
My God.
You understand? So I am hoping and praying that our new government will have those trees removed and bring life back to Georgetown.
Lord.
Leave the pavement. The cars can drive on it. Leave it. You can't make the money go to waste.
Lord,
you understand?
Jesus.
But those trees need to move. That road needs to be open back up. And we need some activities in Georgetown. We need to get our things something done in Georgetown.
We got another caller. Thank you, honey
I'll
child.
see you in a bit.
All right. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Sandra?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry to call you back, or I don't mind calling you back on this. I said they I don't know you are aware of the corn turtle, right? You know that we can also use the turtle meat and make corn turtle out of it. They couldn't make rundown. Have you heard about corn turtle?
No, ma'am.
Oh, well, Sandra, I think you spent too much time in the US.
I did. I'll admit to it. And it was kind of like those years when I would have been into all of this stuff, growing up as a kid.
Exactly.
And, yeah. So you got to catch me up now, especially with food.
Well, the older seamen, the West Bay seamen. My dad was one of them. Dallas was one of the seamen. They went to catch turtle, and he was number one. They do it like your corn salt, like you do salt beef. You corn it with salt, and you make it dry, and then it has to stay there and keep, to marinate. And after, when it's properly marinated, it takes approximately about 2 weeks to marinate. And then
2 weeks,
once it's marinated, then you wash it off as you wash off the salt, like you do salt beef. And then you get your coconut milk with your bread kind, your bananas, pumpkin, cassava, and you do like a salt beef rundown. If you get that, you're not gonna eat salt beef again.
Wow. Okay.
Once it's
and that's called Miss Brenda says corn turtle is salted turtle.
Yeah, it's salt turtle, same thing, but it's called corn turtle. And you gotta have plenty. My mom say it takes about a Caymanian style about 14 coconuts to cook corn turtle, a pot of corn turtle if you want a good dish out of it. So it's not something that you can be skimp on. You got to make sure and you got to get fresh coconuts, not no canned milk. You get fresh coconuts grated, squeeze, put in the fridge and settle overnight so you can get the cream of the coconut come on top. You eat that, you're not gonna eat salt beef after that.
Wow. Somebody said, what about if somebody can try to make some turtle lasagna? Never heard of such a thing, but we can get creative with turtle.
Yeah, I haven't heard about turtle lasagna, but
no, that would be a new dish.
That'd be a new dish.
Thank you, darling.
Dish, but it would be a dish of turtle.
Yes, for sure. All right, my dear. Thank you so much.
Sandra.
All right, honey. Okay. All right, folks, enough of talking about food. I know we love this conversation, but we've got some guests waiting for us. Let's go ahead and put our virtual hands together, and we're going to welcome the Premier, the Honorable Andre Ebanks, and his Deputy Premier, the Honorable Gary Ruddy. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good morning, Sandra. Can you hear me? Mic test.
Oh my goodness, loud and clear. I'm going to put you guys on the big screen there so we can see you a little bit better. There you are. Looking good, looking good. How's everyone this morning?
Good morning to you. Good morning to all Caymanians overseas, and all residents.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. So we were talking about food, and we're going to ask Mr. Gary, now that he is the tourism minister, we do need to put a few questions to him based on what we're hearing this morning. But good morning to Deputy Premier, the Honorable Deputy Premier. Gary Ruddy, how are you?
God bless. Good morning. Good morning, Cayman. You guys got me hungry this morning, man.
I know. After that discussion, we're all hungry. Trust me. But so good.
I was gonna say, Sandra, that we don't know how long we can stay because now we're hungry after listening to this debate on food.
Yes, I know, right? Sip your water. It helps.
Yeah. By the way, we will settle it now. Hard decisions need to be made. It is white rice.
It is white rice.
It is white rice. We're very sorry. It's white rice.
I know. Everybody was, I knew that I was going to completely lose that one. But I like them both. And I understand white rice, but there's just something about the rice and beans for me. But anyway, yes, true Caymanian way is definitely white rice for sure. Thank you guys so much. First of all, congratulations. This is your first time on the show. So let me say congratulations to both the TCCP and the CINP for being able to come together and putting the betterment of this country before any self-interest or anything else, and forming a coalition government.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And don't forget our free independence as well.
Yes, free independent. That's right. Absolutely. So you guys have gotten off to a running start. And so we just wanted to kind of touch bases with you today to kind of check in. I know you've just had your first cabinet meeting. And so we got a photo of that yesterday. Tell us what that was like. Honorable Gary Ruddy, this is your first time, in fact, as a newly elected MP and minister. So what was that experience like, actually sitting in cabinet for the first time? And now you get a taste of perhaps what cabinet is going to be like.
I got to say it was overwhelming. It was an experience that I've never had before in my life.
Yes.
What makes it so special is the care and the love that we have here from the civil servants. They're so welcoming. They're so happy. They're so attentive and just want to help us in any way possible. It just feels like I'm home away from home.
Now, we know that you have obviously, been a businessman, I think most of your life. And so you're used to being in board meetings and, making executive level decisions. Was this any different? How was it different for you?
It was different because of the people at the table. I've never sat at a business setting with these folks before, but I can say it was an honorable experience. I think the meeting yesterday went extremely well. Everybody was happy. It was productive, and we look forward to having many more of these for the betterment of this country.
Fantastic. And there's a little photo, folks, hot off the presses of all of our cabinet ministers. We also see included in there is the governor. We see Mr. Samuel Rose, who is head of the cabinet office. We see Ms. Kim Bowlings. I can't remember what her position is now, but she's very much involved in cabinet matters. She's the clerk of cabinet?
Clerk of cabinet.
Okay. All right. So there she is. She's very much involved in cabinet for many, many years as well. So yeah, everybody looking amazing, and looks like you guys are ready to get to work. So Mr. Amelia says, oh, that's awesome. So you've got a lot of work ahead of you over the next 4 years. We're going to talk about what some of the priorities are for the government. We have Melita says, good morning, my team, NCFC. So Premier, you have managed to do something which I think a lot of people are extremely happy about. There's been a collective sigh of relief in this country that this government came together so quickly, and you guys are unified. You seem to have, a vision of where it is that we're going. We're going to talk about some of those high level areas that you're going to focus on over the next 4 years, your tenure now that you've got. Tell us from your perspective, this is your first time taking on this pretty, stressful, I would say, position of being the premier of this country. But what has it been like? Let me just pull you guys back up here. There we go. What has it been like so far, just leading the team? Tell us what that experience has been like for you.
Let's take it from the top. From swearing in.
Yes.
So we got a lot of feedback swearing in day, where folks were worried about a tense moment on the vote of premier. And oh no, because remember, it was so dramatic. They pulled the votes from the box. Andre Eubanks, Joey Hugh. And then you heard an eruption, because folks were obviously counting outside, when it got to 10 for Andre Eubanks. And then you could hear the eruption from the audience. And I think from that moment on, the team has collectively felt that sense of optimism and hope and relief wash over the country. And so we have charged ourselves to say that is good and we welcome it. And it's surreal on so many levels. But for it to be sustained, we now have to deliver for the country.
Right.
To convert hope and optimism into real results that are going to positively affect the lives of Caymanians. So that is our mission. So we started in an organized, swift fashion of delivering the letter to the governor, having an orderly transition of power and swearing in. And now we want to continue to work at pace in an organized, coordinated fashion to do as many good things as we can, as quickly as we can. And what I think you'll find, for me to answer the question that you posed to the DP of the difference of the decision making, and I'm sure he'll agree, when you're in a private setting, whether I was back in a law firm or he was in his private business, you're making decisions that affects that business entity. But I think you feel the weight of the decision making, that when you resolve and approve a matter, it is the weight of how it's going to affect the entire country. The whole other level of responsibility. So yes, I would have had some aspects of it acting as premier when I was deputy premier in the last term. But you're right, in the sense that it's different, that there isn't any more waiting for someone to come back from holiday or a business trip and turn it back over. It's now rep you. And I'm sure that the DP could feel that, the weight of decision when you're measuring, should this be done, how it should be done, how is it going to impact the entire country? That's the difference, I think, from leaving the private sector and going to the public sector.
Absolutely. And how will you balance, because there's so many competing issues that everyone, there are priorities and there's a lot of competing issues. How will you seek to balance getting different things in the fire simultaneously at the same time? Because the people don't want you to say, right, we're going to fix immigration. We're only going to focus on immigration for the first year and a half. They're like, no, you got to work on immigration. You've got to work on the economy. You've got to work on the cost of living. You have to do these things simultaneously. So that requires a degree of balance, right? you can't do everything all at once sometimes, but you've got to have different parts moving simultaneously. So how are you seeking to do that? And while you're answering that question, perhaps I'll push this one in there from a listener to the program. They actually want to know whether or not you have hired any political advisors within the office of the Premier as yet.
So to answer the first question, we have to, and I think I might have touched on this slightly in the swearing-in speech.
Okay.
Have to look at the interconnectedness of it all. If you only look at one issue, and I think that's the other thing that may be different from the private sector, that all of the issues are related in some way. They touch on each other. So if you delve into, say, immigration reform, and you're trying to say to take one demographic, for example, young Caymanians back to work, then you need to think about education.
Right.
And then you start to think about education, and then you're thinking it from that aspect of it. Then you've got to go to the other end of the spectrum of what happens to the seniors. Should people be allowed to work longer? What should be the average year now for retirement? So if you only look at it through the lens of just one issue, that's why the old people used to say, measure twice and cut once. You have to think about what are the other issues that are connected to this to make it work. So the first exercise that we're doing, to answer your question, relates to the strategic policy statement, where we as a government, and that's due by law by the end of July, by law to say what are the broad outcomes that this administration is trying to achieve in the 26-27 budget. How do they all fit together? And what is the budget we're going to assign to accomplish them, so that we have that medium-term vision of where we're taking the country by the end of 2027. And that's why you have 8 ministers backed up by parliamentary secretaries, so that everybody knows their role on the field like a football team, to be able to weave through the issues to score the goals.
Yes.
It's all about teamwork, Sandy. And we've assembled an awesome team, 11 players. And like the Premier said, you know, our chief officers and our supporting cast and the ministry and the department have been absolutely fantastic. I mean, we just can't wait to continue to do each part that we're responsible for and collaborate with the other ministries together. It's going to be a joint effort, and we're not going to take one at a time. We can do multiple because we're here to multitask. And the team that, you know, we've assembled, I wholeheartedly have all the faith that we can deliver to the people of the Cayman Islands and give them a quality of life that they so deserve.
And be transparent about it. So we started from day one swearing in. We were on Radio Cayman, gave a live interview from the swearing in. Folks would have seen us interview at Forefront with Tammy Suleiman. We're here now with you. We plan to talk to CNS, go back to Chris Garzon and the Link Up podcast, and just continue, go back to Radio Cayman, continue streams of communication so people can see what we're working on. We can't breach cabinet confidentiality, but when the first couple of decisions, well, at least one is published and some more to follow, I think the country will be excited about the direction of travel and how quickly we're trying to get to that vision and those good things as early as we can. We also will have been briefed on historical problems that go back 20 years that needed rectification, that just sat around. Things need to get done. We need to keep the country moving and advancing.
Right. So no political advisors as yet, just to clarify.
So the second question, I didn't come to that one yet. On the second question, the Office of the Premier, the first thing was to get organized ourselves as a team, allocate all the ministries, everyone meet their chief officers. Now, next week coming in, I'll downshift to think about the build out of the Office of the Premier, which is more than political advice. It's also press secretary. It's also assistants. So I have to think about the whole structure of the Office of the Premier. But I wanted to ensure that all of the ministers were first and all the PSs were first settled. Then I'll come back to me.
Right. Okay. All right. Very good. And just a side note, because I know, of course, you would be considering the best of the best for your press secretary. I'm sorry, but I'm not available. Just wanted to let you know.
Come on, Sandy. I thought we had you.
All right. We can disconnect the call now. Bye.
I had to throw that one in there because, you know, there's always these funny people out there. Oh, she wants to be press secretary. I thought, oh, my God. No, thanks. All right. So we have a few comments coming in. Let's read some of those. Our Instagram listeners are still here paying attention. One person says, what are you going to do about the minimum wage? So how far up your list of priorities? I know the SPS. I want you to explain what the SPS is for us as well. But how far up the ladder then of priorities is doing something, anything about the minimum wage?
So the goal, this will weave into the SPS.
Mm-hmm.
So the strategic policy statement is required under the Public Management Finance Act.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that when a government comes in, it must set out what its broad outcomes are from a policy perspective. And usually they're anywhere between 6 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then assign large budget numbers to each of the broad outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
So within that, maybe immigration reform, maybe labor reforms, which would include the minimum wage. So what the civil service admirably did before we sat down is they went through the manifestos of TCCP, CIMP, and the independents,
Mm-hmm.
and came away with what the broad themes were that we all seem to have been saying to each other, which was very helpful. So minimum wage, for example, was talked about with each of us. Immigration reform, access to housing, maintaining housing, education. So they've pulled out the broad themes. Starting next week, so this is the nugget for this show that others wouldn't have had yet. Starting next week, we begin as a caucus to retreat to discuss the formulation of the strategic policy statement. So that when we deliver that to the country can see the vision of what the next 2 budget years will look like and what is the estimated broad numbers or financial numbers that are going to be assigned to accomplish those. And when the country sees that is when they will then get an overview of the top priorities that we're seeking to accomplish. Now, this is where we might remember a few times when I was on as a TCCP leader and candidate, we mentioned the importance of making sure that we stabilize the country's finances.
Right.
Because without a functioning budget, then you can't get to try to deliver the promises you made when you were running. Because these things have a cost to it.
Right.
So I would say, and this is a plug for our very capable finance minister, that's what Minister Anglin is delving into now. He's going with the financial secretary, looking at the current state of the finances and seeing what do we need to stabilize in 2025, where we are projected to have a deficit, meaning that the country will have less money than it earned. How do we stabilize that so we either break even or have what they call a surplus? That will then also, the consequence of that is they'll shape what's available budget-wise for 26 and 27. So all of that feeds into the SPS process. So we're quite cautious to announce particular projects because think of it as a household. You can't say whether you go on summer holiday to Italy unless you know what's in the bank account.
Yep. That's for
So
sure.
we need to get his advice of what's actually possible from a financial perspective, and then assign that to what our key priorities are.
Okay. Now, last week, I think it was last week, Friday, we saw the opposition members were on another program and they were talking about the fact that there is no deficit. And this was a little bit confusing. So I don't know if you're prepared to address this today, but they were saying that there is no deficit, that instead we have some amazing surplus. Why the confusion?
It may not be confusion. It may be looking at it from a snapshot in time. So let me try to say this in the easiest terms possible. The bulk of the money the government makes comes from financial services. Financial services deadlines to pay government from license fees, registration fees, is in the first quarter of every year. So if you only look at the budget for the first quarter of the year, it would show that more revenue is there than there are expenses.
Okay.
What the election financial update was given and what numbers Minister Anglin as finance minister is looking now is to project how the entire year of 2025 looks. And that means that main source of revenue will slow because they've already been paid. but the expenses, just like your house, the light bill, the water bill keeps coming in. So without your salary keep coming in by the end of the household year, if you project out, we will have more expenses than money, than income coming in. So if you were to only go to the public and report one calendar quarter where your salary hit, it would look as if you are in a surplus because you actually are at that point in time. But a government and a household really shouldn't think that way. Where are we going to end up by Christmas? And if we haven't slowed how much we are spending by Christmas and don't have enough salary coming in, we will then have more expenses, a deficit, than we have a surplus. So his job now, and they would know this, they've been in government before, the finance minister's job in advising the cabinet now is, what can we do as a household? Because from what I'm seeing, the income is going to slow and the expenses are going to keep rolling in. So I project we will have more expenses than income. How do we rectify that by Christmas?
I got it.
Kind of make sense?
Yes. And as someone who works closely in QuickBooks, my own company finances, I know that financial snapshot, which is often called the balance sheet, as you say, is not necessarily an accurate, that is just for this point in time, whatever the date is as of that balance sheet. So going forward, your position could be very, very different. And that's why when you send something to the bank, they're not going to just ask for the balance sheet. They may want the balance sheet, but they also want to see, they also want to see your financial statement. And that might include forecasting and projections and stuff as well. We do have a caller. You're getting some background noise there, but let's see if we can hear you. Good morning and welcome to the program. Hello.
Morning. How are you?
Yeah, you're coming in hot. You and I need to talk about your phone because I think there's something wrong with your phone. The last couple of calls.
It's probably because it's connected to the car. Hold on, let me.
Oh, well, I don't want you to not be hands-free, but the quality in that is not the best.
Oh, it's okay. I'm parked.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Safety first. Yes, that sounds so much better. There we go.
I just had a quick question.
Sure.
Not that I don't think Minister Anglin is capable. I think he's a very capable person. But why, I'm just curious as to why education and finance both fall under him, seeing that they're both such, I guess, big portfolios. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay.
But I'm just curious as to why both of those are under one and not separated.
All right. So thank you so much, caller. Yes. And this is a question not just for Minister Anglin's portfolio, but you guys have very big areas. So for example, Deputy Premier, Mr. Ruddy, let me just pull up the list of, we should probably go over this just to remind our listeners who is minister for what area. So probably if we can go through this list, that would be great. But it's a lot of responsibility. So tourism by itself is humongous. Ports by itself is massive. Is there any difference? I think it's a good question, but is there any difference between, tourism and ports being both really big portfolios versus education and finance?
So I'll chime in. So let's go back to the prior administration where I had two ministries.
Right.
Financial services and commerce on one side and social development, investment, innovation on the other side.
Yes.
The approach that we've taken is to assign responsibilities to members who have a qualification or a deep experience in the area. So in Minister Anglin's case, he's a CPA. Out of the team around the table who was actually qualified to handle the subject matter of finance, couldn't find a more capable person who was a CPA than him. And remember now, he's been a minister before, so he's not new. He's also been the education minister before. So the synergy between the two exists based on his experience and skill set to be able to handle both responsibilities.
Yep. Okay. All right. Very good. So let's just review for the benefit of our listeners, the full cabinet appointments, because a lot of people, I get this question all the time. See Zachary saying, well, who's handling transport? People don't know. So let's go through the list. We have the Honorable Andre Ebanks, MP. Premier and Minister of Financial Services and Commerce. So just give us a brief rundown of what is involved with your ministry. So financial services.
What I'll do, Sandra, is because we're mindful of time and we want to try to get to as many topics as we can because we'll have to break away by 9:15.
Yep.
What would better information for the public to consume is when we settle the entire government org chart.
Okay.
Which then, so this is just the broad areas that each minister has been delivered by me by the governor on my advice of the broad areas. Underneath of these is a whole range of departments and portfolios related NGOs that have purchase agreements.
Yes.
And government companies like Cayman Airways. That should be settled this week. What we can do is send that to you.
Okay.
So that the entire public can see how all of government is organized.
Wonderful.
Right?
Thank you.
To go through these now, we might be here for the next hour.
Yes.
If you got it, and I typically, to the deputy premier, I typically try to keep a copy of it in the constituency office because it is a frequently asked question. Where sits where? I mean, even deep into the middle of a term, someone can say, "Well, where does this department sit?" It's good to have that picture, and it'd be something for we'll post it. But there's also a reference point that all the media houses should have. So that should be settled within this week or early next.
Okay, good. And where has transport gone? Because KK says, why has transport been dropped from the minister? So where is transport now?
So that's a good, see, this is why I want to give the org chart. Not everything that's in the ministry has to be in the name, because then we'd have a humongous title. You'd be reading all day long. The transport will fall under Minister J. Ebanks. But it doesn't necessarily need to be in the title of what he does because it's part of the infrastructure. So when you see the org chart, it'll break down everything that's underneath the ministry, and that will make it clearer. So just because you don't see something in a ministry title, we're trying to keep the titles as tightly grouped as possible so that they don't have these humongously long titles that go on for almost a paragraph.
Very good. All right, we've got a caller in the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
And good morning to the Honorable Premier and to the Honorable Deputy Premier. Congratulations again to you. And just want you to answer a question, both of you or either one of you. And it's really for clarification, because it might be my ignorance on this, but I thought that when the Minister of Finance position had become available or implemented, I guess I should say, that the financial secretary capacity and title had been made redundant. Although I keep hearing, reference to the financial secretary. Could that be clarified? Because as far as I know, once the implemented Minister of Finance, which is the job that the financial secretary used to do, that the financial secretary title and capacity had been made redundant. Can either of you or both of you clarify that for me, please?
Okay, thank you very much, caller. Appreciate it. So financial secretary versus Minister of Finance. That's what I'm hearing, yes?
That's what I heard. So there is from the 09 Constitution and in the standing orders is the reference to who's the Minister for Finance. So that is a minister who obviously sets policy and has the overall responsibility. But the chief officer, i.e. the civil servant, who supports that minister, is the financial secretary. So it would not have eliminated the civil service posts, just like for me, in financial services and commerce, there's still a chief officer who's day-to-day in charge of the civil servants in that ministry and essentially the advisor for the ministry, supporting the minister. So each minister still has a chief officer. It just means for the Minister of Finance, the chief officer of finance is just called the financial secretary. But to say it another way, that person is still Ken Jefferson, and that person is the chief officer for finance.
Understood. Okay. All right. Liana has a question, which really begs for a broader question, but she says, when and will Cayman have a lottery? And how will it feed back to the Caymanians? Will it help affordable housing, health, education, sports, etc.? So we had several referendum questions that, we had 3 referendum questions. One was in relation to the port. That question failed. The people of the Cayman Islands resoundingly said no to cruise berthing. The second question, I think, was the lottery question. We said yes to that. And the third one was decriminalization of small quantities of marijuana. Those, in terms of the SPS and priority areas for government, any of those a massive, the 2 that people said yes to, any of those a massive priority for the Cayman Islands government? Like, are you guys running out trying to set up a lottery?
So at the moment, the priority is to complete the SPS and then to confirm what the broad outcomes will be. We will be discussing each of those as part of the process to see where they can fit. But because they were given favorable answers by the electorate, we still, I think, have to set up a framework to explore, well, where does that go? Do we assign a working group towards it? How would it be shaped? Because even though someone could say, well, Premier, they were non-binding, so the government could ignore it. I think this is the point that we were making on all the referendums during the campaign trail. It's very difficult to ignore where the electorate has given a positive response. There needs to be some sort of deeper analysis of how to set it up, because I think it would be remiss of a government to just blow it off and say it's non-binding. I think if that much of the populace has voted in favor, we'll have to put some policy work into it to decide how do you advance it further.
Now, in line with that question, I don't know if you've had an opportunity to hear any of the points that the Commissioner of Police made at his press conference on last week. I think it was last week, Wednesday. But he said something interesting as it relates to gambling. And, unfortunately, because there wasn't a whole lot of discussion around this, as people headed to the polls, I think it's something that people may have missed. But I've got the clip here that I really want you to perhaps just listen to and see if you have any response to this.
As far as your question around crime and I suppose associated with numbers, yes, we had this discussion now years ago. We provided a full paper on that a few years ago in terms of what we saw around the lay of the land as regards to gambling. At the very moment, which is it's illegal to gamble in the Cayman Islands. So we did provide an analysis around what that looked like, and that was more so in terms of sanctions, in terms of imposition of stricter sanctions. That's really what that was about.
Was there, just a quick question in relation to that, was there any statistical information obtained from other jurisdictions that once they introduced a national lottery, if that had any real impact on the illegal gambling? Because they're very 2 different things. So there'll be people who will still engage in illegal gambling even if there's a national lottery.
Did I produce?
No, I'm saying, are you ready? Because this is always one of my big question marks around the whole issue. Like, why push a national lottery if it's not going to impact the issue of illegal gambling?
Honestly, Ms. Catron, I can't answer it because I don't know. I'm not in a position to know whether that was done.
All right. So he went on to say, I thought there was a little bit more of that clip. Oh, my goodness. Somebody just said the radio cut off. Give me one quick second, gentlemen. Let me just play something to get our radio back on. All right, wonderful. We're back. But he actually goes on to make the point where he says, because he hadn't produced the numbers, and I don't know that anyone has, but from his experience, there hasn't been anything to show that a legal lottery will have any significant impact on the illegal one that's actually happening. So the question then becomes, why are we introducing a legal lottery? Because I think for some people, it's on the basis that, oh, we want people to not engage in illegal gambling, and people are going to do that anyway. Why is government taking resources, having to hire staff, basically running the business, because that's what a national lottery would be, running the business of being involved in the lottery business?
And that's why I answered the way that I did previously, that it's going to require further study. Because that's been a leading question in my mind as well. Even when the bill was being debated in the last term. How would this really solve the issue?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, we're gonna have to study it. But at least what the referendum provides is that it generated a level of interest to say, government, you need to look into it.
Mm-hmm.
And also that goes with the decriminalization of the marijuana as well.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so no, it's a good question. And you couldn't really blame the commissioner, because he wouldn't have been maybe prepared for that particular question. As he jokingly said, I wouldn't prepare that level of analysis. His analysis is to look at the illegal and then make recommendations to the government of how that could be better policed.
Mm-hmm. Very good. All right, so we've got lots of questions coming in. Of course, phone lines are still open. They're going to be with us for a few more minutes, 936-2626. But let me just see if I can pull a few more. Gabby says, good morning, Sandy and everyone else. Can you ask them what about the planning? What are they planning on doing for town small business wise? So Georgetown, Deputy Premier, this probably falls under your remit, but Georgetown has become a bit of a ghost town. And there has been this initiative to revitalize it, which a lot of people argue that what they have done has actually further suffocated Georgetown. I don't see any real revitalization. I don't know how much thought you've had. I mean, obviously you guys are just a few weeks in and you're starting to meet your teams and meet all of the departments and so forth that falls under your ministerial responsibilities, but are you having any initial thoughts on what can really be done to help Georgetown? I know someone said earlier to go and dig up the lights and dig up what was done. I don't think that's ever a solution because, money and resources were spent on that. So I'm doing what the previous administration does, normally doesn't really fix much of anything. But any thoughts at this early stage of what can be done with Georgetown?
Sandy, right now we need to look at accessibility, and they continue to cut, roads off in town, making it, basically inaccessible. Then we have parking issues. If we can bring attractions to town, we have to make sure that people can park and also get to those attractions. But town can be vibrant. I see a lot of things that we could do, with the tourism ministry and my team, that we can bring some activities to town, maybe, weekly or monthly. But we need to drive, traffic to town, but we also have to make sure that the people have a place to park and they can get to where they want to go. Because if we continue to block off roads, it will hurt businesses, and then people will start to go someplace else.
Yes. All right. We do have a caller in the line. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Mr. Premier, when you were campaigning, I called in and asked a question about Section 19.2 of the Constitution. And I wonder if you plan to have any discussions with civil servants, public officials about their obligations under 19.2. And because I noticed that you said that you expect all of the members of the coalition to exhibit professional character. And so I'm assuming that applies to the civil service as well. I've had the unfortunate encounter with civil servants on this issue, and they seem to think that they're above the law in that regard. And I'm wondering if you would be able to address this issue with the governor about their responsibility to the rule of law.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly. The short answer is yes. And from what we've seen so far, there seems to be a refreshing level of collaboration with each of the chief officers and each minister to try to work hand in hand so everybody respects their area of responsibility under the Constitution. Because otherwise, if you have that disconnect or discord, then the country's business doesn't get done effectively. So it's in all of our interests to respect our areas of responsibility under the Constitution and all the laws of the Cayman Islands, quite frankly, so that we produce better outcomes for our people.
Mm-hmm. All right, very good. Aisle 2025 says Deputy Premier Ruddy has one strong Caymanian accent. We love it. We absolutely love it.
58 years, proud of it.
Yeah.
What you see is what you get.
What you see is what you get. Love it. Ms. Brenda says, I know Deputy Premier, and he will not hesitate to consult with people in the know to meet and accomplish his campaign promises. Leanna says, stop the 10-story buildings in town. It's disgusting, and the tourists are complaining. Wow. Pat says, also consider doing a human impact study. Yes to data-driven decisions, our triple D that we're always talking about here in the program. Thank you, Ms. Pat. Very good. Isle says, yes, they got rid of the parking in Georgetown. Bring it back. Oh, my goodness. Ms. Kay says, good morning, Honorable Premier and Deputy Premier. Is there any interest with the newly formed government to revisit changing the one man, one vote and single member constituency matters?
So that's a very good question to end on, and then we'll do some closing comments because we have to go to a meeting.
Yes.
I think that's one that's already come up in the group. And this came up before we were officially sworn in, when we first sat around the table of some of the things that we knew were on our minds and also on our people's minds. That's something that I think you'll see us have a more formal statement that it needs a re-examination, the voting system. It's not to cast aspersions of what was there. We did have an advancement. It has now been a few cycles, but now it's time to now revisit and look at it and say, is it producing the best outcomes for our people? So yeah, it's one that we're definitely going to examine.
All right, one final question briefly, because our guests do have to leave, from our caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Premier and Deputy Premier.
Good morning.
I just want to follow up briefly on what the previous caller talked about the rule of law, and sometimes the fact that civil servants don't seem to do that to an extent that is considered possible. Now, one problem is sometimes as human beings they just develop attitudes, but the other one, which is even very important, is that there's been lack of training in the government, and there have been elements in the government who have resisted training civil servants, for example, on how to work in the legislative process and how to work in relation to judicial review. And as a result, that's a problem. Is there any intention by your government to address those issues? And before I get off the line, personally, I think part of the problem is also with the governor. The governor tends to sometimes, when you complain against senior officials, she does not perform her constitutional duties of good governance to actually even respond. Without getting into details, I've complained about 2 specific senior officials with the governor. I've been waiting for 2 months. She hasn't given me a decision one way or the other. So if the head of the government is not doing their job, I think there's a problem. Can you comment more on the first point than the second point? But you can comment on both if you like. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right.
So the answer remains similar. From our standpoint, what we can do based on how the Constitution is drafted is to raise our concerns if it's occurring with a particular officer or officers with the governor to take action. But in my experience so far in one term, and so far as we come into this term, I have found where there are clear priorities and there are unified approach of what you're trying to achieve as a minister. I have always found that I can work hand in hand with the civil servants that have been with me to be able to get the job done. So I think how we really can help, and I touched on this in the swearing-in speech, is to come up with coordinated priorities and inspire the civil servants that we're with, that this is the vision for the country. This is what we're seeking to achieve. They have their system performance metrics. And if they're not upholding those performance metrics, our recourse is to go to the governor and the deputy governor to say, we are behind. We have these agreed priorities. This has slipped, and I need your help to step in from a performance standpoint.
Mm-hmm. All right, one final comment before we get closing remarks from you guys. Johan Moxham says, for all of the positive intentions by the new elected government, if the senior management of the civil service is not held accountable like previous governments, they will fail. Politicians and elected governments change, but the lack of accountability, ineptitude, and special treatment granted to those failing in their roles goes unchecked, and the same issues continue. Government after government, et cetera. Hashtag Cayman deserves better. So calling for accountability at the civil service level, which obviously we know elected officials cannot directly, hire, fire, and so on within the civil service. So any comments on, on that part of it?
Oh, nothing more than I've already said.
Okay. All right. Some final remarks. Yes, sir. Deputy Premier.
Going back to the gentleman just called in about, training with civil service.
Mm-hmm.
I've only been here, about 3 weeks now, and I can see the civil service, they're always doing something training. And in fact, we have to go at 10 o'clock to the LA with the Speaker of the House to go through training procedures here as well. So we're always learning something new, and you can never learn enough. So I do see it happening here. Now we just need to make sure we get out of the front line as well.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much. As Brenda says, that will not happen. I don't think that will happen on the Honorable Gary Ruddy's watch. So we will certainly see. The civil service is a lot more powerful than people realize. So on that note, let's go ahead and get some final remarks from our Premier, the Honorable Andre Ebanks, and our Deputy Premier, the Honorable Gary Ruddy.
Sandy, thank you very much for having us on your show. It's been a true delight to speak to our fellow Caymanians. I would like to thank the people of Georgetown South for believing in me. I had a nice function and Friday evening, several hundred people attended, a community event in celebration of winning Georgetown South. I'd also like to thank the team, my fellow 10 elected members that are in this party with me. I think we'll do great things for this country. And most importantly, I'd like to thank my ministry, the tourism ministry, under the leadership of CEO Strand Bodden, and also Ms. Rosa Harris in the department. I think we'll do great things. We had a meeting yesterday. I'm just starting to get out, to meet the people in the industry. And we had a nice meeting with Captain Marvin's down in West Bay for about an hour and a half. So we're looking forward to getting involved, hearing the concerns, and working along with the people who deliver a product for Cayman tourism and make it better.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. And let me say to the Honorable Deputy Premier, this is actually your first time, it just occurred to me, on the Cold Hard Truth. So a warm welcome to you.
Yes, ma'am, it's been good. I was a little apprehensive being on the other side of you, but all is well. All is well. I know if I get cross with you, reel me in.
I often tell people I don't bite.
I'll take you fishing 4 years when I have time again.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. All right, Premier?
I would start with the Deputy Premier. I have found him to be such an able, accurate, affable partner as a deputy. I couldn't be more proud to serve with him. Mm-hmm. And I agree. I read one of the comments as it scrolls across the screen that some of the messages and concerns about civil service I don't see happening on his watch, because he's going to inspire, he's going to set out a vision for tourism, and they're going to move with him. And I think we're going to largely see that with all of the ministers. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Peanut.
Thank you, sir.
I told the VP he would survive the show. Mm-hmm. I told him that don't worry, you will come out with all of your flesh. You will be absolutely fine. It's always a joy and a pleasure, because we do need to rotate among all the mediums to try to get communication out. That was one thing that you were very, very vocal about on the campaign, Sandra, that you could be doing 100 good things, but if nobody knows, then at the end of the term, well, what did he do? He only did 2 things, or she only did 2 things.
Absolutely.
So it's a constant stream of communication so people can see. Can you get to turn every screw? Probably not, but you'll do as many good things as you can, as quick as you can. I went to the DP's event for Georgetown South. It was amazing. There was several hundred people there. TCCP came out to support, as well as CINP. us in West Bay, well, TCCP in Bodden Town on Saturday, great event. CIMP came out to represent. It was at Pedro, it was fantastic. And then we had our event, all 4 West Bay MPs had a family fun day fair on Monday, and it was absolutely fantastic. Small plug, here first on CMR, the 4 MPs are going to do their voter appreciation event. Look for the flyer, but we're aiming for the 30th, Friday the 30th of May. So look out for that. I think the details are just about finalized, so hopefully that will be the date. And we'll send you the flyer to get folks to come out and just show our love and appreciation to all of the West Bay voters across the entire West Bay district. And also I want to say, Sandra, I look forward to warming up and stretching pickleball with you.
Fantastic.
I think you have been playing, and I'm rusty from the campaign trail, so you'll probably take the first series. But I assure
I don't know. I've not been playing as much as you think.
I will come back. Even if I lose the first one, I will report by match 3. I'll be back on top. And this one is better player than the 2 of us combined.
That's right. Absolutely. So he's the real silent weapon when it comes to pickleball. Let me tell you, he'll run you around.
Pickleball at Sandy's.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you both so much. Yes, Deputy.
One last thing, I just want to thank everybody in the civil service, from the deputy governor down, for being so welcome and just accepting us and helping us. They've made this transition so much easier for the new people and also for the returning government members. It has been a fantastic opportunity, and I wholeheartedly just want to thank everybody in civil service for making me feel special.
That is, and they've done it for all of us. And I'll leave you with this, Andrew, before you wrap up. Again, what I said at the top of the hour. What we want now, since we've definitely touched the nerve with TCCP, CIMP, and the 3 independents, NCFC has developed a sense of hope and optimism. It is now incumbent on us to sustain that by delivering for our people. So stay tuned for decisions that are being made now, SPS, and going on to the country, because we want to take this country to the heights that it hasn't seen and balance it for our Caymanian people. So God bless you all. God bless the Cayman Islands.
Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. Some amazing comments coming through. Let me just throw a few of those in there. Shaka says, it's good to know that it's still okay to call Mr. Ruddy Peanut. Always.
Because they keep calling us DP. And you think I'm not listening, but I know who DP is, so Peanut is me. Thank you.
He does look around. I say, DP, you agree? And he'll look around for the DP. It's actually you.
Fantastic. Mark Anthony says, inspiring leaders. Carol says, God bless the Cayman Islands and our new government. Magdalene says, great things ahead. Philip says, leadership in action. I'm feeling hopeful for my country once again. Thank you so much. Liana made a comment. She says, this is how you lead a country, by talking to the people for feedback. Great. Thank you to our leaders. And let's see. We had quite a few said thank you so much. And they want to ensure that this is the first of many appearances, as you say, in all media, but definitely here in CMR. We've got well over about 600 people listening to the program this morning. So thanks to both the Premier, the Honorable Andre Ebanks, and Deputy Premier, the Honorable Gary, aka Peanut Ruddy. Thank you, gentlemen, so much. Really appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Pleasure.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, folks. So yes, we appreciate them coming on to the program, and that's how we do it. Fantastic, feedback this morning from all of you. So Marva says, hopefully in the future, we'll see our Premier, Deputy Premier, as well as the opposition leaders appearing together and showing unity to our people. The people of the Cayman Islands has again sent a clear message that all 19 need to unite and work together for us, the people. Well, Miss Marva, I'm not going to hold, if I were you, I wouldn't quite hold my breath on the opposition putting aside their sour grapes, but there's always hope. As long as there's life, there's always hope. Good morning, caller.
Good morning again, Sandra. Just a very short rejoinder to the answer that was given. I think the answer to my question, part of it was given by Deputy Premier when he said, well, there is some training they're undergoing. But you know what the problem is, and I can say this having worked in government for 12 years. people who come in, both ministers as well as chief officers, don't have the right kind of training. Now, you can go to Parliament and they will tell you, okay, this is the way Parliament works, this is the mace, and this is the procedure, this is what the clerk does, and so on. And I know that that kind of training is given more like as an orientation. But people in government are not trained, for example, on the legislative aspect. Let me give you an example of what that lack of training has resulted in. Last time there was a minister, I won't mention who, it was a minister who announced that there was going to be an increase in a certain fee and that it was going to go to cabinet later on. But he announced it before it went to cabinet. There was a furor in the country, people saying, well, how can they propose to increase this? I think it was relating to the savings, what's that? The savings institution, I forget, the credit union, you know. Now, do you know why that happened? That happened because that particular individual was not trained to say, you know what, even if it is just a proposal, you don't go public with it. You go to cabinet to find out so that cabinet can tell you that we are ready to consult on this basis. Because in other countries, a country can be brought down by a mere proposal. So they are just not getting the right kind of training. And that is part of the problem in the legislative side as well as the judicial review. A lot of decisions that are taken by civil servants, they don't understand like what is dangerous to take as a decision. If you go to Bermuda, for example, they've got a course there which is called Senior Managers Development Course. They teach them a little bit of the basics of how to make decisions according to natural justice, about how you implement 19.2, which the previous caller was talking about. So they are just not getting the right kind of training. That's my rejoinder to that. I thank you.
Thank you very much. And I suppose that maybe that's really a point for the head of the civil service, which would be the governor, and by extension, she delegates this to the deputy governor, the Honorable Frans Manderson. So perhaps he's listening this morning. Okay, we're going to start to wrap things up here now. Thank you so much. As you guys well know, on the days that I do my luncheon, I don't go too much into overtime because I do have more things normally to do in the kitchen. Big shout out to Miss Stacy, who she gets things started and holds things down. So I'm sure the lasagna is probably, the whole house smells of good things being cooked and in the oven at the moment. So I'll go and check in with her and see exactly what is going on there. Tartarian says, okay, I see what the caller means now. Miss Carol says, true. Yes, definitely some good points. Kate says they have training but terrible attitudes and should not hold certain positions. Sandra, you never, Kenneth Bryan, about testifying. Okay, so this is something, Leanna, we can't go too deep into this discussion. We can ask him after the trial is over, because in fact, this is a live trial. And more importantly than that, just being a live trial, it's a jury trial. And you have to be very, very careful. We've seen where it's happened before, where because we were talking about a case a bit too much, the defendant was able to successfully get their case thrown out, and the DPP had to start all over again. So we don't want to say anything more about it whilst it is still an ongoing trial. Once it is finished, then we can have a full discussion on it. Philip says, good luck with that one, Marva. PPM has their own agenda, and that will never change. That's the reason they're always being sidelined. They're looking out for their best interests, not ours. Ms. Brenda says, that's not how it works. That's why you have an opposition. They object and counter what the sitting government does. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Morning, Sandra. Kenneth here. How you doing?
Oh, were your ears burning this morning, sir?
No, they weren't burning.
Good morning.
No.
Good morning, Deputy Leader of the Opposition. Good morning.
Thank you, Sandra.
Yes, sir.
I did hear that wonderful comment by Marva about one day all of us working hand in hand together for the people. So, you know, this is an attempt at that.
Okay.
So thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely.
You had a very pertinent question earlier to the Honorable Premier, and I think it's in relationship to the Commissioner's viewpoint on the referendum. And I thought I'd give you some context to the understanding of why the referendum question was about a national lottery and will it eliminate gambling in its totality. And you're right to have that concern because even in Las Vegas, there's still illegal gambling. So by all means, it won't be. It's not a intent for the national lottery to magically get rid of all illegal behavior in respect to gambling. But what the information we chose to use for the national lottery was the criminality that the police department provided for us under the previous commissioner of police, that over 85% of the crimes related to illegal gambling was around the numbers game. So you may recall that, unfortunately, the passing of the former prison officer was at a local numbers joint. A lot of the robberies of persons were persons who were selling numbers. So when you think about gambling, you have a number of different areas of gambling. Local numbers, and you have card games, you got dominoes, you got whatever other kind of gambling. Some people even say buying a charity ticket is gambling. But the point is that you will never ever get away from a total element of illegal behavior, because people will still do it illegal. Because if you don't have a business license for it, even though it's allowed within the law, if this was to come into play, it'd still be illegal.
Right.
But it would take away majority of the fundamental crime around it. And that was the thinking. So it wasn't intended, or it was never thought that it would be the magic bullet, but would take away majority of the severe crime around it, because the data showed that, you know, criminals would target persons who would have loads amount of cash from a day's worth of illegal selling of numbers, or at night, or at a local spot. So that's the thinking. You have a right to ask the question about whether or not this would solve the gambling problem. It won't. No matter where you look at, particularly as Vegas, there's still illegal gambling concerns, even where you have legislation created for it. So I thought I'd put that in context. And if we can get a reduction of over 85% of criminality around any kind of illegal gambling, whether it's numbers or any other kind, then I think that would be a severe drop in the bigger picture of illegal behavior around it. All right. So I thought I'd put that context out there.
I appreciate the commentary. It was unfortunate that we kind of ran out of time. And of course, the port issue was such a hot topic button that, you know, what time we did have ended up sort of focusing on that, but we didn't have much discussion around the other two. But you know, even post-election, I think that we can still do that. So I'm looking forward to having, continuing engaging dialogue for sure. But thank you so much for the call. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, my dear. All right, folks. And that's all she wrote. We are going to head out now. And let me just see here. We are going to head out and get our, our lunch sorted out. The time flies by very quickly. So we'll make some bread rolls here now and a few other little bits and pieces to make sure that our seniors have an enjoyable lunch. And yes, as to turtles on the menu, and they will have a choice of white rice and rice and beans. I'm going to be curious to see how many of them request the white rice with the turtle today, but we will definitely have choices for them. Folks, thank you guys so much, as always, for tuning in. You make this Cayman's #1 talk program. And I most certainly appreciate your ongoing and continued support in that regard. I saw the Tower Marketing Report this year. We're still #1. And not only are we still #1, but we went up the scale. Like, more people are listening to the program. I see the numbers here every single morning. Once we get going, sometimes it's a little bit of the choo-choo train starts out early. But once we get going, look, consistently over 500 people on the live stream. So I appreciate you guys, showing your support. I appreciate your engagement. Ms. Brenda said that she'd like to donate to the seniors luncheon next time. I'll call you after the show for the details. Well, I appreciate that. And a lot of you, some of you have reached out. I have a physician who's reached out. He wants to donate. Other people said, well, can I just come and help serve the food? Thank you guys so much for that. Donate with food, because they love food. And, the great thing is some of them actually get to take a plate home. They get to take away food. So I always say the more, the better. I remember the last time there was an elderly they're seniors, elderly gentleman there. His wife was not feeling well that day, so she couldn't make it out. And Miss Amelia and her team made sure that they organized a to-go plate for her so that she could have something to eat. She's like 70s, 80s. She's not going to be cooking, especially if she's not feeling well. So it was wonderful that we could send her a to-go plate as well, and she could at least get some lunch. Leanna says, I cannot wait for the cooking show in CMR. Me too. I'm excited. And somebody else, I'm not sure if it was you, Leanna, was asking who's going to be the first person on the cooking show. So this is where CMR TV, our streaming platform, is all about our CMR community. I love Ms. Gwendolyn, who was calling in earlier, talking about, she's going to cook next time she cooks turtle. Invite me over, honey child, so that we can make that part of the cooking show. That's what the cooking show is all about. Let's see how these traditional dishes are made. I don't know much about this. What kind of turtle did she say it was? The cracked turtle? What's it called? But we're interested in that as well. So let us sorry. So yes, let's get the cooking show off. We've got someone who is a pastry chef, and so he's going to do some different dishes for us. So I'm excited. I'm the cooking show is going to probably be my favorite show. I love it. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. I'm calling in to answer Leanna's question.
Oh, yes.
That's going to be me. Yeah.
It's going to be you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I already have it all set out and everything.
So
with everything else that we're supposed to be working on.
What's going to be on the menu? Do you know how to make corn turtle?
A little bit. I'm not a pro, but my aunt is and my grandma is. And that was my aunt calling in earlier.
Okay. All right. So what would be your dish of choice then, if you did a cooking show for us?
I think it's going to have to be Cayman style beef. I think that's what I'm most famous for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, so, line it up,
totally,
folks.
Anakin. No, it's going to be me.
It's going to be.
It's going to be me. And yeah. So you let me know when we're going to start filming.
Oh, hey, we're ready. We're ready this weekend. Thank you, honey.
Ain't nobody butchering cows in the middle of the end of me. Come on, no. Cayman style beef starts with local beef. You got some?
Well, we need it all the time. Oh my God, hold on. I got a picture of the turtle meat. Hold on, honey child. It is ready and it's going to be delivered and on its way. But let me just give y'all a little sneak peek now. Hold on. This looks delicious. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Look there. We got some breadfruit, some turtle, and some sweet potato. Looks delicious. Beautiful. I got to make Miss Stacy do some coconut rice to go with that. White rice. But we do it coconut style. Looks good. Looks delicious. Oh my goodness. Looks amazing. All right, honey child. We'll be in touch then for your Cayman style beefs. In other words, we have to wait until Christmas to do your segment.
You stop it right now. I'm going to be number one. I'm going to wrangle a cow. Don't worry about it. We got the cow covered, okay?
All right. Thank you. Mary Star says, please make Sarah Sue Macfield. Make sure that she gets in the cooking show. Thank you, please. Yes, says KK. Sarah Sue needs to be a part of it for sure. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Miss Sandy.
Good morning, honey child. How are you?
I guess you can hear my voice.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit rough. Aw.
I know, but the only thing, that food look good. But I don't know why people get their sweet potato so dark. The best thing when you peeling them sweet potato, because they got a lot of stain. And just as I cut my sweet potato, I have lime juice or a lime hand, and you rub it all over it. And as you keep peeling the potato, keep rubbing the lime all over it, and that makes the potato yellow and pretty. I hate to see it dark like that.
Oh, so as you're cooking it, you put lime juice on it?
No, but when you're peeling it, And
when you're peeling
you have your water boiling, and as you keep peeling it, and then even after you peel it, I rub the lime over it and put it down to when I get all of it peeled, and then you wash it quick and put it in the pot, and it kills that stain. It don't come, mine don't come out that dark. It comes out yellow and pretty.
Okay, so that's a good little tip.
I had sweet potato just this week, and I was telling the girl it was dark. I don't like to see it dark like that. It like it don't look like sweet potato. I like to see it, especially the Jamaica ones. I don't like the American sweet potato. They call that sweet yam, but the Jamaica one, that stain. Even when you peeling a banana, you put the lime and thing over it. It kills the stain. Cause some people banana be black too, unless they boil them in the skin.
Okay, that's a good little tip. So you gonna do the cooking show with us as well?
I don't know what she was telling me about that current turtle. That is number one. That is better than salt beef. Yeah, my grandmother used to do that. And you know what's good too? Miss Paulette Thompson makes like a turtle hash. Like it looks like a cake out of the turtle, but you mostly make that with the white meat. I agree with you. The only thing I eat in the turtle is the white meat. I don't like the mug chair and the fin and all that stuff. If I eat turtle, I don't like it much. But I would eat a little piece of the meat. I pick out the white meat. I don't like all my sister and them. I like this mug chair, they call it, and the fin and all that, and the liver and the legs and all that. I don't go for all that. I would eat the plain, and why I had like Miss Paula turtle hash, because that was made out of the plain white meat. She seasoned that up and stuff with all her seasoning. Then you bake it and it cut out something just like how a cornbread or a cake would. That is delicious. She makes it. But my boss, John Franklin, he wouldn't eat the turtle. He said he couldn't stand them farm turtles. He liked the real turtle that you catch that is illegal from the sea. He never, and his wife Little May used to do the turtle thing too, but he never ever ate it. He said he didn't have the stomach to eat that farm turtle because it was different.
All right. Well, we want to make sure people only get the farm turtle because it's illegal to poach them.
I know. Yeah. I know. But that's the best one. I remember when they used to bring one from Nicaragua years ago. That was the best turtle. And in Honduras, turtle is illegal to catch like that too. But we used to mostly get the fresh one from the sea like that, not raised by no farm or nothing. But I know that it is illegal. I know that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, my darling. I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Okay there. All righty. Liana says heavy cakes too, cassava cake, bread pudding, pineapple cake, nigga cake. Yes, we're going to do all of those. And my all-time favorite, which not a lot of Caymanians know how to do it and certainly don't know how to do it right. Only East End as I can find, I can really make this. Nigga Bible is what it's called. That's right, Miss Brenda. The biscuit cake. Oh my God. I love me a biscuit cake. Oh, to die for. Cheese and peace. I need to get my aunt to make me one. Let me message Adonia right now. One biscuit cake, please. I want her to teach me how to make it. I don't know. We can't share that recipe. She might be willing to share that with the world, but she should. I want her to teach me how to make it. That's the one gift that she can give me that I'd be eternally thankful for. Please teach me how to make that biscuit cake. And she makes a mean, I mean, when I say mean, it's like a lemon cake, everything from scratch, the frosting, everything. Oh, my mouth is salivating. Oh my God, she hasn't made that in a couple of years for me, but I think the last time she did that was for my birthday some years ago. Oh, Auntie, please make me some of that lemon cake again. That is divine. Oh my God. But her biscuit cake, yes, she's a McLean from East End. You know them already. They can cook. But off the chain. Yes. Oh my God. Her biscuit cake. Oh, okay. I'm making myself hungry now. But oh my God, I can't wait till 2:00 to eat. I gotta be eating way before then. I like Miss Brenda's idea. Have the salad, although I've been trying to eat a salad first to cut down on how much of the bad stuff I'm gonna eat. I think for today, honey chill, it's gonna have to be we have to do that thing there first. Yeah. All right, big shout out to all the chefs out there. You know how you guys do it. Some really fantastic people in Cayman who cook, and they cook extremely well. Miss Brenda, so you're wicked for talking about that good food. I know, Mirstar. Mirstar, you coming out today? I can see you at the Domino's table. Paul, the man, says, my turtle plate has to have the full works with a side of rice and beans, pink potato salad, breadfruit, plantain, and cornbread with ice cold homemade lemonade. What are we taking them for drink today? Oh, I think we have a little bit of the Tahiti apple juice. And I wasn't able to get any coconut water this time. Looks like the coconuts are starting to disappear a little bit. But anyway, yes, I'm supposed to be, well, not on a diet per se, but, adjusting my lifestyle choices when it comes to food. And then today, there'll be no adjustments. I can tell you that already. That turtle meat is going to be on my plate. And I'm probably going to have a little bit of lasagna too. Honey, chill. I hope she's making 2 things of lasagna, because then Kevin can want lasagna later on. Oh, you'll be there? What? So for dessert, I didn't do the corn thing that I normally did, and I haven't done any brownies, but I'm thinking maybe I should throw a brownie in the oven. But we have some guava tarts. Mr. Dean actually made those for me, but oh my God, they are so good. Oh, delicious. So we have guava tarts, and we have this banana bread thing. It's not really a banana bread, but it's like a banana thing. It's really good too with chocolate chips in it. So far, that's what I'm bringing. I need somebody, speaking of tamarind drink, I need someone who could make me some tamarind drink. Any links? You guys know anybody? I used to get it from a place in town. Oh, look at the rice and beans. Oh, that pot looked good. And one thing I love about Caymanians is, look, I gotta show y'all something. They keeps their old pots, What do you say? Nothing like an old thing. Look at this. Them old pots got like they're the pot themselves are like seasoned. Look at that. What do you call these Dutch pots? Look at the rice and beans in that Dutch pot. Oh, honey, child. That looks amazing. Wow. Looks good. I love it. All right. So today, another blessed day with the with the seniors. We're going to sit down and have some fellowship with them. I can bring tapioca, Tropicana juice or Welch, and a bag of ice. Let me know if it's okay. Bring the ice. Tropicana juice. No, only fresh made juices for them, honey child, because a lot of them have sugar. Yeah. A lot of them have sugar, so we try and give them natural, where we don't put too much sugar in it. Jasar says you need to open a bakery. Mirstar says desserts on fleek. Maybe Stacy can make it. Make which one? The which thing she can make? She don't really do. Well, she did the banana thing. She did that dessert. Yes, oh Lord, we need to stop now, says Liana. Bella's bubbling of hunger. That's when you sip another thing of water. Yes, the good Jamaican Dutch pots. They're nice and thick. Now you get these other ones that they kind of flimsy. You can feel them when you pick them up. They're not the same, right, Miss Brenda? Those Jamaican Dutch pots, they have the tamarind juice. Oh, I would ask Miss Stacy if she know how to make tamarind juice. I can ask her, yeah. But those nice heavy Dutch pots, oh God. Look at that rice and oh my God, I'm making myself hungry. I should go make some. I wonder if I have anything to make some mac and cheese. Oh Lord Jesus, we can put on 5 pounds today if I make that mac and cheese. They haven't had my mac and cheese, and do I have time? 10 o'clock. I got 2 hours. I could do it quickly. Put my hair up in a hairnet and throw some mac and cheese together. All right, let me get in the kitchen. I got to go, folks. Y'all be good. We'll send some videos and pictures of the end production. You guys have a beautiful day, and we'll see you tomorrow is Friday. We'll see you tomorrow morning right at 7:30.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels and visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.